And now, welcome to the world. We're driving over this half of the bridge from Cambridge, from Kendall Square, with the new salt and pepper towers here, into downtown Boston. They repaved this side, they moved the tracks over to this side. You know, this bridge has been being rebuilt for 3 years, so the 3-year project is probably, it's 3 years in, and I'd say another 4 years to go. That's the way it goes, right? 3-year project takes 7, 8, 10 years. Anyway, and now we're down by Mass General, and it's just another beautiful day in Boston, so I figured I'd share the ride. And what we're going to do is turn, so Cambridge is behind us, Kendall Square right behind us, red line up to the left of us here. And we're going to go onto Starrow Drive West, which is a little fun here. Because basically, we have to turn left and circle around and loop over and craziness, like right here. Straight ahead you get to MGH, you know, Mass General. Here's the train station for it. And then I'm facing east at this point, and the leftmost lanes go onto a loop that flies over Starrow Drive to turn around and go west. That's how this works. And of course there's a friggin' cone in the road, which helps block stuff up. That's awesome. Anyway, west. West is over here. We loop around. Cambridge in the distance once we get under this bridge. And now we're going west, which in the distance there's the Prudential building, and the John Hancock Tower is the flat, shiny, angular one, for those that don't know. I figure I grew up not from here, so I'll highlight this stuff. And so, for reference, we just did a big giant 270, I don't know, corkscrew. The weird thing about this road, it's limited access for a bit. So straight ahead's the John Hancock building. There are left exits off of it to go into the back bay and such like that. Such as right up here, so I have to get into the middle lane. It's a little crazy. By the way, if you can help it, just take mass transit. I mean, this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. It's shockingly good traffic because it's summertime, so the colleges are not in session, but boy, if they were, oh, yeah, I should just get a dash cam with how crazy things are. Anyway, shockingly good traffic for 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the way I'd put this. In the distance is the Citgo sign, the famous Citgo sign above Fenway. Fenway being the ballpark where the Red Sox play, shockingly. On the right here is what they call the Esplanade, which is an area where you can kind of sit by the river. It's kind of like a park along the river. So there's bridges that go over to that. It's weird how the through traffic is the right lanes. But yeah, August, was it 4th? 5th? Beautiful day. So for those that don't know, go to Kenmore Square on the Green Line to get off to go to Fenway to see the games. Don't drive because parking is horrific. I mean, yeah, there's parking, but... So we're in that area called the Back Bay. So to the left of us, that's what that all is. Eventually we'll get to a section called Brighton. And that'll be a little bit further up. A better day for driving around here. It's 91 degrees, but it's not very humid, so it's kind of nice out for those sorts of temperatures. Now above us here, this is the Massachusetts Turnpike, also known as the Mass Pike. And further up, there's just a mess of an interchange to try and get up onto it. Yeah, I'm sure it was great when they built it back in the 60s, but I don't know. It's been a while, and traffic's kind of horrible. Starro Drive follows the river. Yeah, see how on the right side all the traffic backed up? That's all to try and get onto the Massachusetts Turnpike. Bail on that concept. Square on the right across the bridge, that's where Harvard University is. And then on this side of the river, you know, there's some expansion of Harvard University, like these athletic fields and such. Take the Fresh Pond Parkway, so to speak, up to Route 2, which is on the west side of Cambridge, and because at this point we start hitting traffic lights and such. No more limited access road, really. Crossing across the river, that's the Charles River, and to the right here is where we're going to head. And on this side of the river, it's called Memorial Drive. To the right there, going that way, and that goes back towards Cambridge, where Microsoft is, and Akamai, and Google, and all kinds of Biogen, a bunch of companies are. But we're not going there today. We're going to head through. So this is one of the things, is that you get these short pieces of highway near Boston, and then it's traffic lights and traffic to get to the next major highway, other than the Mass Pike, which goes all the way into the city, and 993, which goes all the way from north through south through the city. My previous video was ranting about the cost of the big dig and how traffic was kind of horrible coming north into the city at 11:30 in the morning. 3 o'clock on a Friday, I expect traffic to be kind of bad, but so here, yeah, we're going to go straight ahead, and it's 2 lanes each way, but then there's no divider, so this is backed up already. This is going to be a mess trying to get through all this. You know, personally, I'm like, whip out the bulldozers, plow down a few houses, widen the road, but, you know, people don't want to do that, and haven't for 70 years here, it seems, so we're stuck. Kind of get it now why people say, around Boston anyway, they say, oh, you live so far away. I mean, yeah, I live out in Pepperell, which is kind of far, but here, you know, distance-wise, not so far, but this kind of traffic. I mean, look, 3 o'clock Friday, stopped. I'm gonna pop open a soda here, because that's the way I roll. Let's see what else is going on. It's been dry. Boston here, not quite as dry as where I live, but a little dry. A little bit of a drought. Grass is brown. Normally gets brown in August, but not at the beginning of August. Usually there's more thunderstorms during the summer. Haven't been so many that got here. I think the record books, the weather saying that July was like, I don't know, 5th driest July on record, which is pretty interesting. But luckily Boston, you know, they got a couple reservoirs way in the western part of the state, much like New York has many reservoirs north of New York City. I mean, suck it up, buttercups. You got to build reservoirs if you're going to have cities to have water for them. And it's going to collect them from far away, and you're going to dam up valleys to make that happen. I mean, there it is. You want to live in a city? You're going to need water. Where do you get water from? Wherever it rains. So the Quabbin Reservoir, which is west of Worcester and just a little bit northeast of Springfield, northwest of Worcester. I think that's right, yeah. Takes up a good chunk, and then that empties into what's called the Wachusett Reservoir, which is north of Worcester. Wachusett Reservoir was built in the 1800s. That big giant Quabbin Reservoir, 1930s. And with that, this magical thing called the city can survive. Oh, and all the towns around also kind of plug into that water. There's not enough groundwater. I mean, my town's got groundwater, you know, pumped from wells, but it's only so much you can do there. So yeah, this is the main road going up to the area known as Alewife, which is where the end of the red line is. You know, the red line was next to me when I crossed that bridge earlier. So yeah, I could have taken the red line out here, and you know, if my car was parked at the parking garage at the end of the red line. I've done that a few times. Not too bad. If you're coming in from out of town, drive to Alewife, the red line T station, MBTA. It's like $7 a day to park. You ride the train into Boston. So much better. Work pays for me to park, but you would pay $29 to $40 a day to park in Boston. It's just the way it is. You have that money? Great. If you don't, park at the red line and ride the train in. It's cheaper. And actually faster than this. You know, driving is not the fastest thing in Cambridge or Somerville or Boston. But once you're past Alewife, then things will open up. So this is going to take a while. Yeah, this traffic's backed up pretty well. Anyway, beautiful day. Yeah, they call this the Alewife Brook Parkway, so I guess there's a brook, small stream, to the left. And somewhere nearby here, they call it Fresh Pond, so they were, you know, call them a lake. Around here they call them ponds. Anyway, Fresh Pond, which I can actually see in the water over, you know, through the trees that way. Back 1700s, 1800s, they had these giant hand saws. They'd slice blocks of ice out in the winter, store them in ice houses. And later on, when they laid the train lines up to like New Hampshire, some entrepreneurs said, hey, New Hampshire, it's even further north, it's colder, big lakes. They had a big business slicing up slabs of ice from these lakes in the winter, putting them on rail cars with sawdust and other insulation, and literally shipping ice to like the Caribbean back in the 1800s. This is the kind of business mindset people had. Like, I got this ice and there's these hot places. I should ship that ice there. That would be good. I can make money. And they need it. And so then, there you go, right? Refrigeration. Then air conditioning was invented in the early 1900s and spread more after World War II, I'd say. And right? So now you do that instead. But back then, I'm just thinking about it, giant slabs of ice from lakes. Pretty cool. So further up is a pair of, I call them traffic circles. Around here they call them rotaries. They're traffic circles. And when people say, yeah, you drive through the, what do they say? Through the Fresh Pond rotaries. Oh, okay. That's what it is. As you can see, we're just having a riveting time here. So I'm going to pause. Thanks for watching. We made it a few more inches here. Check out the old cars here, parked at this gas station. I mean, that's nice stuff there, right? Dang. Anyway. Traffic circle to make life interesting. So that's the first circle, and then a little bit further up is the next circle. We'll go over a bridge. It'll be wonderful. Uh-oh. Cops want to get through. Okay. That crosswalk there, it's kind of interesting. the second circle, yay. And so these tall apartment buildings are kind of near the end of the train line, the end of the, they say subway line, I don't know, rapid transit. .30. So one of the historical details is through this area there was going to be a real limited access highway, and it was planned for decades, and then after they built 93 through downtown Boston in the 50s, people freaked and said no more highways, and they fought it. There's going to be an inner loop road kind of through here, and it's through the Back Bay of Boston. And 1970 the governor said no more highway construction inside the 128 loop, basically, and so that kind of squished it. So traffic never got better. They did build, however, they extended the red line out this way, and by early 1980s, so you can park and ride that in. That helps a lot. They need more of that, really. Only so much highways can do, but if the red line went further and they had more parking, I'd say it'd be even better. But yeah, from a daily commute standpoint, it would have been no more than 15 minutes from Cambridge, where I was in Kendall Square, out here to Alewife by the red line. Driving, at best it's like 15 minutes. More like a half hour to 45 minutes when there's traffic. So that says something, doesn't it, right? But when I was driving in, it was early and there wasn't much traffic, so I was like, I'll just drive it. Pay the penalty. The other problem, and so there's the Alewife parking garage over there to the left. But the other problem is that parking garage, they kind of fixed the exit a little bit, gave it a little more outflow onto the highway, but it can back up trying to get out of there. Again, overall you're probably saving some time, and beating up your car, stop and go, and dense traffic like this. Just take the train. Pavement here is lumpy as hell. Holy. And the drivers here are panicky as hell. Holy. No, I better swerve. Somebody entered the road. Criminy. And then further up here is the interchange with Route 2, Route 3, I think Route 16. Yeah. So, Route 3 north from here, it's just a 2-lane road all the way up to the mall, north of Boston in Burlington. But not the fastest way. Taking Route 2 out to the Loop Road 128 and then over to the mall is way faster. So we'll show you getting onto Route 2 here, climb the hill. So yeah, we're all of 5-6 miles from where I started. will be the last traffic light we hit. Then it's basically limited access highway for the next, how far? 6, 10 miles? Then there's another traffic light. Concord straight ahead. Yes, Paul Revere Road through here. I think it looks a little different now, though. And 93 kind of merged together, and then 95 South goes to Providence. The signs for 128 were torn down, and people protested because it was called 128 since like the 1940s, right? People freaked. 70-something years. That's called Peabody around here. And then after we cross over 95, it narrows back down to 2 lanes again. And further on the top of the hill, traffic light. Just give her another pause here. And so here we are, we just crossed 95 on Route 2 going west. We're entering the town of Lincoln from Lexington. I think Lincoln came into existence well after Lexington and Concord. They did a lot of work along this stretch of the road, though, past the traffic light that's at the top of this hill. I'll show you further up. There's an overpass they built to go over this giant left turn that used to have a traffic light on it. Now it's an overpass, which is beautiful. That'll be up in a few miles. So yeah, only a short range of highway there, you know. Western, West Coast people call it a freeway. And this light backs up a couple miles during the busiest time of day, shockingly, or not so shockingly. So past this traffic light's where a lot of work happened, through the next light, which is now an overpass. I'll try and point it out as we're driving along. And it does help. If they got rid of this light, that would probably... that, and then further up in the other side of Concord, Mass, is a rotary traffic circle that really needs to be bypassed. That would fix the road pretty well. But, yeah, traffic lights don't make for high speeds. But yeah, from here on, they did a lot of work. This was a lot of construction. The side road to the left wasn't there. They put that in to allow people to access homes and stuff off to the side. You know, it used to be just the main drag. They kind of moved the road over to the right a little bit here, and then just made it limited access for the most part. They did take down some houses along the right side here, and then some were left, but they make a lot fewer driveway entrances than were there before. So that's really nice. Really, you know, they put some walls up and such to keep the noise down, whatever. But boy, it just, the road was literally 2 lanes each way with just striped paint down the middle. Now there's a wall. I don't care how people joke about walls, but let me tell you, when it comes to traffic, a wall's a nice thing. And then down here, it was literally you'd come to a stop at a traffic light and have to turn left. Now it's an overpass that flies over the interchange, and Route 2 continues on to the left. I'm going to exit to the right here, but just kind of show you. It's just so nice because, you know, the next light further up also backs up a couple miles, but then they got a big catch basin here for water, and then a lot less traffic goes down through here, and it's just so much nicer because then I can drive straight ahead into downtown Concord and do my back roads on the way home. Route 2 this time of day, you know, just to the left, backs up a lot at some of those lights in that traffic circle. So I like to go this way instead. It's a little more pleasant too. So we'll do that. And it's just sort of a quiet 2-lane road. Goes through a little swampy area here. You know, the road's miserable shape, but oh well. But yeah, that traffic light was the border for Concord, the town, and we'll kind of go through downtown, and then you'll see the monument for downtown Concord, which is nice. Concord being a slightly upscale town, and by slightly upscale, it has the most. Let's see, what is it? I think the universal measure of that is most hybrids per capita. So yeah, all those hybrid Yukons and hybrid Mercedes and hybrid Lexuses, they all live here. A lot of them do. I'm sure Tesla owners, you know, there's a 5 Series in front of me. Yeah, there it is. Here's a farm in the middle of the swamp. They sell stuff. I don't know. Farm in the middle of the swamp. And then suddenly it's sort of dry land. That's what you get. I guess this is backing up as well. It's that time of day. Yeah, the leafy suburbs as they are. So just a bit north of here is another road which goes through the National Park, Minuteman National Park, where they have, for the most part, pathway that Paul Revere actually did take his ride. A chunk of that they've got. Went back in the 50s and bought up the property from people and stuff, and you know, knock down the old stuff, or knock down the stuff that wasn't super old, like, you know, the old colonials. So it's more, looks a bit more like it might have ages ago. But let me tell you, back in the 1700s, I think people just cut all the wood down and farmed, nothing else. And there's farms left here, but it's mostly suburbs at this point. And there's a lot of famous, you know, this is Museum Row up here. It's like, was it Ralph Waldo Emerson's house from the 1800s is here. You know, whoop-de-doo. A couple others. I'm trying to think. When I see the signs, I'll call them out. Can't even think. There's just so much history around here. It's sort of insane. And I just take it for granted. American history, of course. I know Europe, you guys are just so friggin' awesome for having 1,000-year-old buildings, but oh well. Traffic jams are fun. 350. We might have gone not quite 20 miles to get to this point. And we've been driving for about 50 minutes, I guess. Count end to end. I made a judgment call to come this way, and if it's this backed up, maybe not so fast. But say lucky. Alright, here we go. So on the right is the Concord Museum, wherever that is. This is the thing about Massachusetts. You got like a million little museums. Very town focused, very local focused, very individually run. It's not like New York State where they got this giant state museum on the grounds. Government buildings there. It's all a little museum here, a little museum there. Guess I'll get to that point when I'm retired and just want to walk around museums. Get there soon enough. I love the ironwork around that tree there. It's kind of cool. Little chair, so to speak. Oh yeah, and then on the left here is Ralph Waldo Emerson's house. In case it isn't obvious, there hasn't been a pickup in view for quite a while. Well, there's a pickup ahead of this Beamer, but not too many American flags attached to the bed of a pickup around here. Kind of a more liberal area. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1835 to 1882. So he was there for quite a while. And then they got these hours on these museums. Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30, and Sunday, 1 to 4:30. And at the moment, it's open. Because it's before 4:30. Like, wow, you really got to plan this. Yeah, there's a sign there. Outdoor water use emergency, because we're just so low on water. These towns out here, I think they all use well water. Guess what? When it doesn't rain, it's not so happy. Gotta let the lawns go brown, people. Suck it up, buttercups. I got zero sympathy for Californians who water their lawns. People are friggin' stupid if you do that. Like, they should arrest people if they water their lawns in California. Just plain and simple. You have that bad of a problem? Arrest people. I don't care. If you don't have the right to do that, change the laws. I don't know. You guys are mental. You pipe in water 200 miles away to get to Los Angeles, and there's not enough water, so thank you for letting me in. You know, suck it up, buttercups. Then again, you live in a desert. Ooh, the Concord gun house is on the left. Ooh, it's old school. I guess there's hours on that too. So that might have been some structure that held everybody's guns for the militia or something. Who knows? Now people say the word gun and they gotta have trigger warnings around here. But they do the reenactments in Lexington and Concord with the militiamen. Minutemen, sorry. And it's kind of cool. Black powder type stuff. So yeah, we're creeping our way into downtown Concord. Thought it'd be a little quicker. Ooh, down to 88 degrees. That's good. You can see these colonials and stuff. They're just old, and yeah, I'm sure they've probably been remodeled 20 times, but by and large, old clapboard wood structures, and then newer maybe brick structures, and everything in between. Here's one of the first churches, I guess. So there you go. It's kind of nice looking, actually. Yep, good stuff. And then this is kind of a traffic circle, but they call it, what do they call it? Oh, the Common, that's right. Yeah, the Common is the downtown grass area or whatever. Oh, they call this a roundabout as opposed to a rotary. That's cool. Different words depending on where you are. And then there's a monument in the middle for, I think, people that lost their lives in the Civil War, if I'm not mistaken. That big giant monument there. So yeah, lots of Northerners, you know, frankly speaking, hundreds of thousands of, yeah, the brave men. Yeah, 1868 was that memorial, that big giant monument. Here's the Colonial Inn, and then we get past another old church, and then we go on the north side of Concord here. And there is a downtown that was off to the left, but we kind of bypassed that. Lots of nice shops. Yeah, lots of history. Big monument for people of Concord who decided to go take a hike, literally down south, fight to free the slaves. In case you were wondering. And those people that did that, a bunch of people part of the Great Awakening in the early 1800s. Revival of Christianity, and these people were like, wait a second, slavery's bad. And when you know, some of those presidents, you know, 1850s and stuff, were basically segregationists and whatever. And the people up here were like, this is horrible, and they banded together and said, let's do the Civil War. And, you know, hundreds of thousands of people sacrificed themselves for freeing the slaves. And then, you know, 100 years later, you got your Voting Rights Act and stuff to kind of seal the deal. But yeah, that happened. Anyway, thanks for watching.